This story is set in the future, where a failed climate change experiment has killed life on the planet, and the remaining survivors are divided by classes on a perpetuating moving train called the Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is a 2013 dystopian science fiction film directed by Bong Joon-ho, starring Chris Evans in the lead role.
In the year 2031, 17 years after an attempt to stop climate change via stratospheric aerosol injection catastrophically backfired and created a new ice age and caused ecocide, the remnant of humanity have taken to a self-sustaining circumnavigational train, the Snowpiercer, run by reclusive transportation magnate Wolford. The passengers on the train are segregated, with the elite in the extravagant front cars and poor crammed into squad-like tail compartments overseen by armed guards. Curtis Everett, seen as the leader of the people in the tail section, receives note from a mysterious source and strategizes with his mentor, Gilliam, to find a way to break to the front of the train.
Alright, we're here. Tail section, quarantine section, prison section. Gate, gate, gate. 4 seconds when all 3 gates are open at once. We have 4 seconds to go through 3 gates and bust Nam out.
Then gets us the rest of the way. Our fate depends on this, man.
Yeah.
One day, the elites gather the children of the tail section, measure them, and take away 2 children by force. Those who resist were punished by amputation. Having had enough, Curtis and his second-in-command, Edgar, lead the tail section passengers in a revolt after they realize the guards' weapons have no ammunition. Bullets are believed to be extinct after being exhausted in a previous revolt. They free Namgan Minsu, a captive security specialist, and use a drug known as chronol, made from industrial waste, as bribery in exchange for his assistant. Namgan insists that his clairvoyant daughter Yona be freed as well. Namgan helps the tail mob progress forward, but they find themselves facing a car full of guards armed with melee weapons. A brawl breaks out, but they are halted by a speech given by Minister Manson.
You repay his kindness with violent hooliganism. You scum. Precisely 74% of you shall die. My friend, you suffer from the misplaced optimism of the doomed. This is going to be good.
The train goes into a tunnel, causing total darkness. The guard force, equipped with night vision, begin picking off the blind dribbles. However, the tail sectioners launch a counterattack with torches and push the guards back. Edgar is held hostage, but Curtis sacrifices him to capture Manson, forcing her to order the remaining guards to surrender while Edgar is fatally stabbed. At night, Gilliam touches base with Curtis.
You're still determined to push ahead?
Of course. We're not even halfway.
You already go further than anyone else. Further than McGregor 4 years ago.
10 cars, 20 cars, it doesn't matter unless we make it to the engine. They'll just regroup and attack us again. We gotta pull them out by the roots.
The tail mob stays back, holding the guards captive, while Curtis takes Manson, Namgan, Yona, skilled fighter Gray, and Tanya and Andrew, 2 parents who had their children taken from them, towards the front of the train. Curtis's group traveled through several opulent cars. Namgan and Yona recognizes a landmark outside and considers that the ice may be thawing. The group reaches a schoolroom where a teacher is indoctrinating the children on Wolford's greatness. A bald man brings eggs for the children to celebrate the 18th circumnavigation of the Earth. The bald man goes to the tail army, while Curtis discovers another note in the egg.
I thought the chicken was extinct.
There are actually many things on board were rumored to be extinct.
Such as?
This.
The They open fire with loaded automatic guns hidden under the eggs. The captured guards are freed, as is Manson's henchman Franco. The teacher kills Andrew, but soon after is killed by Gray. Franco broadcasts to the classroom his execution of Gilliam, which prompts Curtis to execute Manson in turn. Curtis's group moves on, but Franco catches up with them in the steam room. They fight, and Franco kills Gray and Tanya when she attempts to stop him. He is then seemingly killed by Curtis and Namgun when they tag team. The two, along with Yona, continue onward. In the last car before the engine, Namgun reveals that the reason he's collected the drug Chronol was to use it as an explosive to escape the train with Yona, believing they can now survive outside. Curtis stops them as he wants to meet Wilford. Curtis explains that in the early days of the train, 17 years before, the tail section had resorted to cannibalism. He continues and tells the story of a group of men who killed a woman to get to her baby, but an old man cut off his own arm to save the child.
Probably guessed who that old man was. That baby was Edgar. And I was the man with the knife. I killed Edgar's mother.
All of a sudden, the engine door opens, and Wilford's assistant, Claude, emerges and wounds Namgun before inviting Curtis inside. Curtis meets Wilford, and to his shock, learns that he and Gilliam conspired to stage Curtis's rebellion to reduce the tail section's population to a sustainable level. Wilford orders 74% of the tail passengers killed. He then offers Curtis his position, leading the train.
Up to what? Humanity. The train is the world. We the humanity. And now you have this sacred responsibility to lead all of humanity. Without you, Curtis, humanity will cease to exist. You've seen what people do without leadership. They devour one another.
Curtis appears ready to accept, as Yona overpowers Claude, rushes in, and asks for matches. Suddenly, in desperation, she pulls open a floorboard with Curtis's help to reveal Tanya's son, Timmy, working in the engine as a machine part. Appalled, Curtis knocks out Wilford and rescues Timmy from the machinery. Curtis then gives Yona matches to light the fuse for the chronobomb, while Namgun fights and kills Franco, who had followed them. As the door to the engine room was damaged during the fighting and will not close, Curtis and Namgun use their bodies to protect Yona and Timmy from the blast. The explosion triggered an avalanche that derails and wrecks the train. With Curtis and Namgun unresponsive, Yona escaped the wreckage with Timmy.
They see a polar bear in the distance, indicating that life exists outside the train. Snowpiercer deliberately leaves certain elements open to interpretation, allowing the viewers to reflect on the themes of the film and draw their own conclusion about the consequences of social inequality, sacrifices, and the pursuit of a sustainable society in the face of extreme circumstances. 接下来我们揭晓今天的学习内容。The phrase "Our fate depends on it" is an introduction to a statement expressing the belief that the outcome or future of a situation is influenced or determined by a particular factor, action, decision, or circumstance. It implies a connection between a specific element and the overall outcome of a situation or event. For example, our fate depends on the success of this project. The phrase, "we gotta pull them out at the roots," is a metaphorical expression suggesting the need to address or eliminate a problem at its source or origin. The use of roots imply going to the fundamental or underlying causes rather than dealing with the superficial symptoms. And that's it for this episode of Cinephile. You can find more on the FUNDAY website. Let's make every day a fun day.
Do you think my station is without its own drawbacks? It's noisy. And it's lonely.
Right. Stakes. Plenty of room. This whore to bring you anything you want.
Curtis, everyone has their preordained position. And everyone is in their place except you.
Do today learn. Today is Tuesday.
Commercial.
Traveler 是旅行者。
I have to wait for Clee.
So he or she is at the Columbia Towers Hotel gift store. 所以他在这个饭店的礼品店，然后他要买东西。Okay, so let's take this chance and listen to the.
学习让生活充满乐趣。FUNDAY英语。